Hey guys, what is going on? Hopefully, you guys all had a wonderful weekend for the first week of November. Anyway, we're looking ahead to Monday, November 5th. We got a 9 game slate to look at. We got a couple injuries that won't be announced until obviously a little later in the day. So, as normal, keep that in mind when I am doing this video. Like I said, a couple guys injured, so anything can happen throughout the day. So, like I said, hope you guys had a very good weekend. Hopefully, you guys have been doing pretty good on some NBA as well. And as you see in the title, 3 straight days of winning for us. Definitely not too shabby. So we'll definitely take that. You guys saw this one here. This was on the first cash in all those double ups there. This here was November 2nd. Scored a 300 on this one. Some of our subs put in 435, 1841, so doubled up their money there. Another one, 115, 1211 on that one. And then his is the last one we did here. Took Sunday off. This is the third. One of our subs put in 90, 192. And then another one here, we put in 250 and 450. So, yeah, I mean, we're still doing pretty good over here. Like I said, we're cashing in almost every single 50-50 and some double ups. That's the easiest way to make some money there. So, would love to have you guys on board. As you see, people are still winning some pretty good money with us. So, $50 a month, 350 for the season, including playoffs. Usually about 2 lineups per day. So would love to have you guys join us to get in on it. Check out our website down there in the comment section below. And also, if you have any questions, hit us up on our Twitter. As normal, that will be down there as well. So, yeah, we'll love to have you guys. Three-game winning streak for us. Hopefully, we're going to make it 4 tonight. Hopefully we do. It's looking pretty good. It's looking like a pretty good slate, depending on the injuries. So, yeah, let's definitely get into it here. Let's hop into it. Houston and Indiana, our first game. That is yesterday's score. Let's go look at today's. Houston and Indiana. We have a 212 total in Indiana by 1. I could see this a little bit higher scoring game, maybe a 215, 216, just because of depending on Houston's pace. But yeah, the thing I like there is only 1 spread, so it could be, a half decent game here. Anyway, looking at the point guard position, not really into Paul. There's some better options out there and cheaper options. He's been up and down. I don't know if I really care for him in this one. If you want to go hard in, that's up to you. First game back last time, he honestly didn't do that good. Shooting guard's not the craziest. There's a couple guys, as you see there, like Oladipo that I like. So if you want to go hard in, that's totally up to you. But I'm personally going to go Oladipo. $2,000 cheaper can get me 42 to 45. Harden probably 45 to 50. So for $2,000 less, I'm going with Oladipo. And for the most part, he's been pretty hot as well. So I really like him. Small forward, don't care for it. You can definitely look at Sabonis. Price is getting up there, but I think he can definitely drop a 30 to 35 on you. So I do like him. And that's mostly it. Clint Capella, don't like him just because of Harden being back. So that definitely hurts him a little bit. And you can see that last game. So, like I said, if you want to go harder, that's totally up to you. I'd rather take the discount with Victor Oladipo here for $2,000. He's in a pretty good dang spot. We got Sabonis that I'm liking. So those are probably the two I'm really targeting in this one. Probably targeting Oladipo a lot more than Sabonis. Probably Sabonis and some GPPs. He's not really a safe cash game, but he's one of those guys that definitely can explode. Price is getting up there. Probably won't pay much more than 6, but I still think he's in a pretty good spot. All right, moving on to our next game. I don't know why that's frozen. It's weird. All right, moving on. Cleveland and Orlando. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I don't know why it's doing that. I have to refresh it, apparently. We're going to wait for that. Anyway, Cleveland, Orlando, I think it was a 213 total, and Orlando, I think, by 4. Anyway, Orlando did play a game last night, was annihilating the Spurs for the most part. Then Spurs caught up a little bit there at the end. So anyway, DJ Augustine, he went off. If you want to look at him, you can. He's a really, I don't know. He's one of those guys that gets you 17 or gets you 25. He had pretty good ratings last night, and he went off. So it's up to you guys. I'll be completely honest. I'm not really into the game. I don't see much. You can look at Aaron Gordon and Vukovic if you really want to pay for him. But personally, probably not going to be playing him. I just don't see enough upside I mean, they're in half decent spots in cash games, but I don't see the craziest upside in this one. So, me personally, going to pass on that one. Moving on, we got Miami and Detroit here. We have no total on this one because of Dragic and Hassan Whiteside. So that's the only news we're looking at there. It should be a relatively low-scoring game. Detroit's lost 4 in a row. They started 4-0. I'm thinking they're going to want to get back on the right train here at home. This is an interesting game. Like I said, Dragic and Whiteside definitely determine, honestly, this slate. They determine this slate, like I just said. If they play, they honestly make it into a kind of a crappy slate. If they don't play, they make this into a terrific slate. So those two guys are definitely, we have to watch. If one of them doesn't play, mostly Dragic. If Dragic doesn't play and Drummond and Whiteside does play, that's okay. But if Dragic plays and Whiteside doesn't, that hurts a little bit. So I'm really banking on Dragic not playing, just because it point guard, shooting guard area is just so fragile right now for Miami. If Dragic doesn't play again, I like Tyler Johnson. Just disregard the game time decision for Johnson and Wade. That was from the last game. They still haven't taken it off. So anyway, I like Johnson quite a bit. It should get you 25 to 30. Still very cheap. High ownership, though, if Dragic is out. Don't mind Rodney McGruder or Dwayne Wade. I think both those guys are in pretty good spots. Small forward position, once again, Josh Richardson and Winslow. This is all banking on Dragic being out. Like I said, this entire Miami team, honestly, is in play for me. They're so cheap, and especially, like I said, last couple of years, it's been happening to them. A lot of injuries, and a lot of guys step up and make some pretty good fantasy points. So, and then if Whiteside's out, you can really look at Kelly Olynyk. Yes, I know he had 0.2 last time. But, he's going to have to play a little bit. Like I said, I really hope Dragic and Whiteside are both out. That just makes us a gold mine. It's not going to be the highest total, but these guys are in pretty good spots. Plus, they're going to be down like 4 or 5 guys. So, and then obviously Bam comes into play if Whiteside is out as well. Should get you 23 to 25 in this one. Should be a rebound and a king in this one. Only thing I'm worried about with Bam is his foul trouble against Drummond. But for the most part, I'm in on every single Miami guy, depending on the Dragic Whiteside news. Like I said, if they both play, that kind of screws this slate quite a bit. So, and then also you can look at Drummond and Griffin in this one, especially Griffin. If there's no Whiteside down there, that helps out a little bit more than normal. Winslow may be guarding him. I don't know the rotation. We'll just have to see. But that's kind of what I'm looking at there. Let me see here. Another guy popped up on the ratings. Bruce Brown. Some people liked him, but I just don't know about that. So, I love Miami, as I said, depending on the news there. So, all right, we are going to move on to our next game. It's Chicago and New York. 216 in New York by 3. So New York defense is terrible. Almost every single Chicago guy has a plus DVP rating. So they're almost all in play here. Cameron Payne, Zach LaVine, Justin Holiday. So, and the other thing that really sucks is Jabari Parker. This dude has really good ratings every night. And he'll probably have a really good rating tonight, but I don't know what's going on with this dude. He's just complete trash these last 3 games. This is a very easy matchup for him, so who knows? Like I said, I don't think his ownership will be high. He's still very dang expensive. I don't know why. But like I said, this is a GPP play for sure. Boom or bust. He could either do what he's been doing the last 3 games or maybe come out of it and score 30, 35 in a pretty dang good spot. Like I said, he has the best DVP ranking of the entire slate. So, like I said, if you want to take a shot with him, maybe do it in one lineup, and hopefully it pays off. But I can admit it's risky. He's been trashed the last 3 games. You can look at Wendell Carter, but dang, this dude's $7,800. Man, his price just skyrocketed, almost $3,000 since the start of the season. For good reason. This dude's been awesome. Besides his foul trouble once in a while, he's pretty good. So I don't mind Wendell Carter either. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of these Chicago guys are in play for me as well. I like quite a bit of them. New York side, not really into the New York side. If Tim Hardaway's out, you can look at Dotson if you want, but he's 5,600, so he might just get you 25, 26, so no big advantage right there. So yeah, I really like Chicago's side on this one here. They all, like I said, all have pretty good ratings here tonight. All right, moving on to our next game. This one's insane. Pelicans and OKC at 237 and OKC by 4. Just going to be one of those cash game ones. Like I said, I've already mentioned Miami and Chicago. A couple of those guys are cheap in there, so it should help you get in Westbrook, maybe Mirotic, Paul George, whoever you want. Davis should play in this one. I think he can get you 55. Still elbows hurting him, so depending on his health is going to depend on this. Going to factor into this game. If he's healthy, this should be a good game. If he's lingering, it could hurt a little bit. So anyway, love Westbrook. Good DVP matchup for him. Drew Holiday like him. Dennis Schroeder picking it up the last couple games. Go check out his stats. He's been looking half decent if you want to pick him. Paul George and Nikola Mirotic, I like both of them if you want to go that way. And then, like I said, if you want Davis, that's up to you if you think his injury is not going to affect him. And I don't mind Steven Adams either, or Randall coming off the bench for 30 to 33. So one of those games is pick and choose your stars, and you should be fine. Like I said, that's a pretty high total, and it's going to be a popular game as well. So just pick and choose who you want. Most of them should be in a pretty good spot here tonight. All right, moving on. Toronto and Utah, no total on this one because of Kawhi Leonard. Toronto, for the most part, just annihilated the Lakers last night. It was, 40-something to 17 at the end of the first. So, yeah, they killed them without Kawhi Leonard. So, I thought it was just because of rest, but apparently he is his ankle's hurting a little bit. They don't have him listed as game time decision, but he is. I will tell you that. You can even go look at Fantasy Labs real quick. Right here. Game time decision on Monday. So even if he doesn't have an injury tag here on FanDuel, he is questionable. So keep that in mind for sure. We may not get word on him since he is 2 hours after lock. I still love Kyle Lowry in this one. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't know. You sure Utah defense? Look, I've been telling you guys all along, Rubio sucks at defense. He's terrible. We saw what D Rose did a couple days ago, dropped a 50 bomb on him. Lowry, this dude is insane right now, and for some reason his price isn't going up. This guy's playing like a $9,200, $9,300 player. Like I said, he had a couple bad games, but like I said, look at that. Look at those assists, double-double almost every single game. $8,300, that's so dang cheap. I love him here once again. I think he could be in a good spot. As I said, I'm not afraid of Rubio's defense, and if Leonard's out, that helps him a lot in this one. And, it helps this game stay close as well if Leonard's out. So, yeah, definitely look at Mr. Lowry in this one. Besides that, I'm not too into anyone else. Ibaka had an unreal game last night. I don't think he's going to do that here. If Favors and Jay Crowder out, you can look at Royce O'Neal, but he's been a trap the entire every time I pick him. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. And also Utah struggles against center, which is crazy because Rudy's a really good defensive player. So Valanciunas might get you 30 to 35 as well. So you can look at Valanciunas in a one-off. I really like Lowry. Those are probably the two I'm going to be looking at in this one here. So hopefully we get Kawhi Leonard news before tip-off. All right, moving on. Boston and Denver. We have a 206 in Denver by 2. So honestly, really slow game. I just don't see a lot of value. Even the stars, I'm not too high on. You can look at Jokic maybe or Al Horford. Horford might get you 30, 32, but that's really it. He's facing a really good defense, though, and Jokic is a good defender. So not much upside for Horford. Jokic, maybe 45 for 50 in this one. Last game he didn't shoot at all. Marcus Morris, you can always look at that dude. He's been getting you 28 to 30, so – I guess you can look at Marcus Morris, and personally, that's it. I'm not too high on anybody else in this game. Probably going to be moving on. 206, that's just too low for me. So, yeah, not really into that one. Moving on, Memphis and Golden State Warriors. Blowout here for sure, 222 in Golden State by 14. Memphis lost to Phoenix last night, so that's kind of depressing. Yeah, as I said, 220 and a 14 spread. So in this game, I'm just looking for cheap guys that may get extra minutes. This is a GPP play only. Alfonso McKinney. The two blowouts that Golden State has been in, Chicago and Minnesota, he's played pretty big minutes there. So, I'm expecting this one to be another blowout, and maybe he gets you 20 to 23. Nobody's going to have this dude. So if you want to put him in a one-off, that's up to you. But he's really risky. So keep that in mind. That's not a safe play at all. I think this guy might get a little popular tonight. Shelvin Mack. This dude's actually been hot the last 3 games. I haven't been paying attention because Grizzlies, they don't have any fantasy purposes. But Shelvin Mack does. Look at this dude last 3 games. 31, 27, and 38. Playing pretty good monster minutes. And even if there's a blowout, he should come in off the bench and, play with this second team and hopefully get some extra shots as well. So he's 4,500. He's really, really cheap. He can get you 25 to 30 in this one. I like Mac. I really do. Usually don't pick Grizzlies, but I think you can look at him. So, and then Golden State, I don't think their starters are really in play. Like I said, it should be a straight blowout, so I'm not really into them. So, yeah, that's mostly it. Looking at Mac and a deep GPP only with Alfonso McKinney, but that's it. Just not really feeling that one for obvious reasons. It's a 14 spread. All right, last but not least, Minnesota and the Clippers. So Minnesota looked like a college team last night. It was just terrible against Portland. No total on this one because of the news, and I'm pretty sure we're not going to have any news on these guys. Jimmy Butler, we'll have to see if he's going to play. I think he's going to play. Will not play Sunday. So, so he's going to play. We'll sit out the front end of a back-to-back, so he should be playing tonight. So that makes it a little bit more competitive. If Jeff Teague and Rose are out, I do like Jimmy Butler. Not the best matchup, but he's going to be rested, and I think you can look at it. We'll have to see with Rose. He kind of screwed a lot of people last night. Like 5 minutes before the late game, he said he was going to play, and then like 2 minutes after the lock, he decided he wasn't going to play. So kind of screwed a couple people there. Anyway, you can look at Tyus Jones in this one. Like I said, I'm not expecting a high total, maybe 212, 215. But if Butler plays, it helps a little bit in this one. So you can look at him. You can look at Harris, maybe Montrezl Harrell. That's up to you guys. Some people are going to love some Boban. That's up to you if you want to go that way. Minnesota is struggling against the center position here this year, so he might get you 23, 24. So it's up to you guys. He'll be very popular if Gortat's announced out once again. He's only going to play 20, 23 minutes, but as we know, he's pretty productive in those minutes. So, So for the most part, if everything stays like it should be a pretty good slate. Like I said, Whiteside and Dragic, they're kind of the changers of this slate, depending on how much value there's going to be. So yeah, like I said, target that Miami game, couple Chicago guys. Like I said, you can look at Mac if you want from that game. Target New Orleans, OKC, definitely in cash. Love Lowry, as I mentioned. And then, like I said, you can definitely look at Victor Oladipo in that one there. So I mentioned quite a bit of players that I'm looking at, and for the most part, they all should do pretty good. So, that is it. Like I said, we are on a 3-game winning streak. Would love to have you guys join us and win some money. We have $50 a month, $350 for the season, including playoffs. As normal, our website will be down there in the comment section. If you have any questions, hit us up on Twitter. That will be down there as well. So thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. If you are new here, hit that sub button. We will be discussing the NBA for Fanduel almost every single day, probably excluding Sundays, as you guys see early on. There's just not a big enough slate on Sundays. So usually about 6 days a week, we'll be doing videos here. So like I said, hit that button for more NBA advice videos. And as normal, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. I definitely do appreciate your guys' feedback. So that is it, guys. Hopefully you guys all have a pretty good day, and we'll see you guys all here tomorrow.